From the years 2015 through 2018, life was literally at its pinnacle. The music was classic, sports were iconic, and even the way we connected online felt new and exciting. But when it comes to fashion, I feel like this is one of the worst eras of fashion. At the moment, the era of Hypebeast fashion became popular and trendy, but in hindsight, that was one of the worst eras of fashion because it lacked originality and creativity and solely focused on the price of items instead of what it actually looked like. In this video, we will revisit why the Hypebeast era is one of the worst eras of fashion and speak about the irreversible damage it did on the current state of fashion. Man, I know y'all can remember, bro, in 2015, 2016, 17, that was literally peak life. You got video games was popping, social media was popping, you had Vine, stuff like that, Instagram, all that was Snapchat. You had, I said video games, you had TV was popping, like you had Lord of the Rings, all them type shows. You had movies was going crazy. You had sports. You can't forget about when LeBron came back 3-1. You had sports. Tom Brady was going crazy. But music, I already said music. Music was pop. Everything was so lit during the years of, I would say about like 2014 through 2018, 2019. Those times were literally peak life. That's when you had Fortnite coming out. Like, what? That was such a good time to be alive. Like, literally, what a time to be alive. But when I think about, man, we're going to talk about it a little bit later in the video. Yo, what's up, y'all? It's Lil Hands, the world's flyest YouTuber all time. And if you never watched one of my videos before, hello. We do fashion content over here, but sometimes we switch it up and do other things too. But today we doing fashion, man. And I want to say this. This video may sound a little hypocritical because I know my latest video, I just made a video about why V-Lone was one of my favorite brands and how it got wasted. Before you watch this, go watch that. But basically in this video, we're just going to be talking about the Hypebeast era, reliving it kind of in hindsight, and speaking why I think it was not a timeless era at all. Because you know how some fashion eras, certain styles come back into style. I don't think anything from this era is going to come back into style ever. So we're going to basically be talking about that. So if you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. I respond to all my comments. So yeah, we're going to get straight into it. Okay, I already kind of spoke about why the 2010s, specifically those years 2015 through 2018, were some of the best times in life. Because I just felt like everything felt so new and pure and hadn't already been done before in the culture. Like, you know, the culture. But I was just thinking about it and I was like, man, the Hypebeast era, I am not really a big fan of. I mean, of course, I was young and impressionable at that time, but I'm not a big fan of that era at all. And I consider myself at this point a professional fashion critic. You know what I'm saying? So I gave my 2 cents, and I had my 2 cents, and I was like, man, why not make a video speaking on why this era was so trash? And basically, that's what I want to do because I feel like we get blinded a lot by how cool the culture and the world was at that time, and we forget, like, bro, people were really putting on bad fits, like them Yeezy 350 fits. Oh my gosh, with the Bape, oh my gosh, it was god awful, bro. So we're gonna talk about it. So basically, I want to talk about, if you don't know what the Hypebeast fashion era is, I will enlighten you. So basically what it is, Hypebeast is, and we even still have Hypebeast in today's day and age, I feel like, but this era is what made it popular. The Hypebeast fashion era is an era that I feel like consists of a few different brands that were really popular, which I'm going to get into. But basically what the Hypebeast era was that was when social media was rising and so many people saw certain brands, certain types of clothes get popular from whether it be artists, celebrities, whatever it may be, YouTubers at the time. And they wanted to start wearing them not because of how they looked, because of how the piece was formed, because of the, you know what I mean? They were wearing it strictly off of hype, strictly off of because it was hard to obtain, strictly off of the price of the item, not because it was a good fashion piece. And that's why I feel like that brand, that era of fashion died out pretty quickly because it had no substance to it anyway. It was only popping because it was trendy at the time. You know, trends always die, but trends also do always repeat themselves. But I think this will never repeat itself because it wasn't really clothes. It was just, it was clothes, but it wasn't pieces, if you know what I'm saying. So that's what we're gonna talk about, bro. So when I think of the Hypebeast era, I think of, let me see what I got in my nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll say 6 brands that make up the Hypebeast era. So for number 1, Supreme was probably the most popular brand during this era, and even though Supreme had some really good fashion pieces at the time, the box logos had people in a chokehold, and that was the problem, bro, because people would break their necks to get a box logo t-shirt, and them t-shirts had no originality, no creativity. It's a staple of Supreme's brand, so I can't get on Supreme for that, but just when looking back at it, I can't believe we was spending $500-$600 on those Supreme box logos, bro. And I think this is one of the only brands that has evolved with the times. Like this, all the other brands I don't think work or will work today, but this is one of the only brands that have evolved with the time. Secondly, you got Bape. This is another brand that has evolved with the time, but at that time, oh my god, that stuff was just so trash, bro. It was, I don't know, like, bro, okay, we're gonna talk about it. So Bape is a timeless brand that will always be around and important. However, during the time, I was not really a big fan of like the shark hoodies and the tees and the Ayo and Teo mask, bro. It was so trash, bro. Bape at that point in time was trash. Of course, like the Lil Wayne era, I feel like Bape was Nigo. All of that era, I feel like Bape was making really, really good clothes. But during the Hypebeast era, bro, I'm putting stuff on the screen. Those zip up hoodies and oh my god, with the sweat, oh my god, that was god awful. And they was charging arms and legs for them, and people would kill for them. Like back in them days, bro, if you had some Bape, bro, I'm thinking you the flyest dude ever. I remember my man's had some Bape shorts. I'm thinking he the flyest dude ever, bro. In reality, bro, it's not good fits at all. Not good swag, not commendable. Hashtag not commendable, bro. Thirdly is who I just made a video on, which is V-Lone. And I love V-Lone, but I don't think what V-Lone did would work in today's day and age. And I feel we're gonna talk about it later, but I feel like what V-Lone did kind of set up irreversible damage for today's current state of fashion. So we're gonna talk about that. But V-Lone at the all time, this is still one of my favorite brands. But I believe the culture around V-Lone was so fire and summarized the heights of the Hypebeast era. And this brand aged terribly and really fumbled what could have been a timeless brand for certain reasons. But also, I just felt like it had no evolution. It was starting to have evolution with the 2018 fashion runway, V-Lone first Paris Fashion Week runway, which I spoke about in my last video. But other than that, I feel like it was all simple designs that were really only popular because of the world that was created around it, not for the actual piece of clothing, you know. So yeah, next, and this is another spearhead of the Hypebeast era, is Yeezy, bro. Shout out to Kanye, bro. But at this time, I thought Kanye was a really forward thinker when it came to his shoes and even his use of earth tones in his clothes, which was fire, by the way. But looking back, I think the Yeezy 350s were such an ugly shoe, but really fit the vibe of what that era was. And I said this in my notes, I never in my life seen a good Yeezy 350 fit in my life. If you know a good Yeezy 350 fit, please send it to me, bro. I've never in my life seen one. And then the final brand, I got two. One more. This is an honorary brand because this is a timeless brand, but it just matched the era at that time. Was Jordan shoes. Like Jordan 1 specifically was a big part of the Hypebeast era. Jordan 1s, Breads, Royal Blues, the Pine Greens. That was a big part of the Hypebeast era at the time. And I'm a known Jordan 1 hater. I love Jordans. I'm gonna make a video about Jordans eventually, but I'm a known Jordan 1 hater. I feel like that was bad cleats, bro. Jordan 1s is bad cleats. I've never seen a good fit with Yeezy 350s. I've never seen a good fit with Jordan 1s, and I'm gonna just be honest. I seen one when Cardi had the this gonna sound blazing, but get off my Jimmy, bro. When I seen Cardi had the undercover 85s with the Supreme jacket and the Jordan 1s back in the Hypebeast era, that was kind of cool. But that was just cause the undercover 85s. You know about that, do your homework, bro. But man, I never seen a good Jordan 1s fit. Now that I think about it, I hate Jordan 1s, bro. Man, I'm gonna talk about that in another video, bro. But Jordan 1s was a kind of a staple of that era, and I think that was a bad part of the era. And then finally, the final brand is Off-White. Now, I was never really a big fan of Off-White. I always knew it would come and go, even as a kid. And I don't think any of their pieces were that special. I never really seen shout out to Virgil, but I never seen an Off-White piece that really just slapped me in the face, and I was like, wow, this is really crazy, you know? I think this brand was bound to die out and kind of was only popular because everyone loved Virgil. I love Virgil. I'm gonna make a video about Virgil soon, but I just don't think it was really that cool of a brand. I don't think they were making cool pieces. They were making t-shirts with the logo. It was all with the, I never really thought Off-White was that crazy, bro. In the runways, it'd be cool, but not even a runways, honestly, because I feel like Virgil was at his best when he was with Louis. So those are just brands that I feel like made the era and made it what it was. And if you notice, a lot of all of those brands, they have originality. But when I say the brand has originality. But when I say I don't really think it had that much originality, it's because of the fact that at the time they were making clothes, but they weren't making pieces, bro. And I feel like the brands at this time, at the time it was cool, bro. But looking back at it, I was like, I can't believe I was spending money on this stuff, bro. Well, I wasn't spending money, but I can't believe people were spending money on this type of stuff, bro. But next we're gonna talk about why this era was bad. So in my notes I think that what makes this era of fashion forgettable was the fact that the whole era was based off of hype, which is in the name. It was like you have 90s fashion. 90s fashion wasn't based off of hype. It was based off of the time, you know, and what was popular at the time. Not hype. Not like, oh, because this is expensive, I'm going to go get it. It was based off of other things outside of just time. Early 2000s, that when people was wearing all the baggy, you know what I'm saying, kind of the trends now, like the Timbs and all that. That wasn't based off of hype. Of course, trends are hype. What I'm saying is, it wasn't based off of, oh, I'm going to only get this because it's popular and because I will have status if I wear this and it'll look like I have more money than you and I can flex on you if I have this. That's what I'm trying to say. And I think fashion is all about what is trending, and trends come and go. And I believe that this was the only era of fashion that was solely based on internet trends. Usually the trends reflect what is going on in the community at the time, but I think this era was just people trying to buy expensive things such as box logos and Yeezys, thinking that they were putting it on, when in reality, no, you weren't. You're not curating good outfits, bro. And a lot of the outfits that were worn during this era show you that you didn't really have to have real taste, but you just had to know what was trendy at the time. There were some people who did a good job of styling themselves during this era, such as like A$AP Rocky, people like that. But for the most part, nothing from this era of fashion is memorable to me, in my opinion, bro. So yeah, it was, like I said, it was a cool time. And at the time, bro, I was in middle school and high school during these 2015 through 2018, 19. During those years, bro, it was fire because I was a really big fan of V-Lone. I used to want Supreme, want Bape. But just as I've matured and looked back at it, I'm like, bro, I don't think them will ever come back. The only brand I think that people will still wear today is Supreme and Off-White. Those are the only things I think people will still wear. But everything else, like V-Lone, Off-White, those will obviously V-Lone for certain reasons, but those brands will never come back in style, you know what I mean? And I just feel like the reason, one of the main reasons why I dislike the Hypebeast era is because of the Hypebeast era, and this is what we're going to get into on how this did irreversible damage to the current state of fashion. The Hypebeast era made it normal to have $300, $400, $500 t-shirts, bro. And I feel like that's not it. I feel like the Hypebeast era also made some of you uncreative people online think that y'all can make a clothing brand by just blow up off just making t-shirts with a message on it. No, you can't, bro. I'm gonna go on a rant, bro. You know how they say everybody shouldn't rap? I agree. You know how they say not everybody should play sports? I agree. You know how I think they need to start saying not everyone needs to have a clothing brand, bro. You not gonna be the next Virgil, my boy. I'm sorry, bro. If you put a saying and a logo on the back of a t-shirt, bro, I promise you not gonna blow up, bro. No disrespect. I want you to succeed and all that, bro. But you're not gonna be the next V-Lone. You're not gonna be the next Supreme. You're not gonna be the next Virgil. Bro, that takes no creativity. If you're gonna at least make a clothing brand, bro, make a brand, a clothing brand, not just clothes with a logo on top of it and say, hey, this is my brand, come buy it. Because nobody's buying it. I'm not buying it. You not. Bro. You not buying your brand, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying, bro? And that's my fault. I get passionate about that because I don't think everyone needs to have a clothing brand, bro. Now, I know someone with a clothing brand that's nice. Shout out my boy Joel, bro. But other than that, I don't think everyone needs to have a clothing brand, bro. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? And this may sound like I'm hating, bro. But, bro, bro, not everyone needs to have a clothing brand with just t-shirts and a saying on the back of it, bro. And I stand by that, bro. I stand by that. And I think the Hypebeast era made these young people who are now the adults in our day and age now think that, bro, all you have to do is just make t-shirts, make hoodies, make sweatsuits, and then put a logo on it. And this logo, people are going to want to buy it because of the logo. That's not how it works, bro. That's not how it works. And like I said, also, bro, the Hypebeast era made charging $400, $500 for a t-shirt normal. Bro, I'm not paying $400, $500 for a t-shirt with a logo, a brand logo on it, ever in life. No, I always say, if you into fashion, one of the dumbest things you could do is buy a designer t-shirt and a t-shirt over, like, I would never pay over, in today's day and age, I'd never pay over $100 for a t-shirt, because, bro, there's so many fire t-shirts and creative individual t-shirts you can find that nobody else has for so cheap, bro. But the Hypebeast era made it be like, oh, I gotta have this Gucci shirt on, I gotta have this Balenciaga shirt on, I gotta have this V-Lone shirt. Nah, no, you don't, bro. It's so much creativity in just finding stuff that nobody else has. And I feel like the Hypebeast era messed that up for a lot of people, bro. And that's, I ain't gonna lie, that was a small little mini rant, but that's one reason why I feel like the Hypebeast era kind of ruined this era of fashion, bro. Because, bro, not everybody need to have a clothing brand and mimic the Off-Whites, the V-Lone, Supreme. No, you don't have to do that, bro. If you're gonna make a clothing brand, make actual cool pieces, bro. Cool pieces that people want to buy, because you wouldn't even want to buy what you creating, bro. But that's pretty much low key. Oh yeah, and also I feel like that it made damage to the current state of fashion, because, bro, it made people. I feel like that was. I mean, I haven't been alive the whole duration of the world, but I feel like that era of fashion really popularized, in order to consider yourself fly, you have to wear what's popular online. And that's still true today. Like, you have the little yachty epidemic we're kind of transitioning out of, and the baggy jeans with the Timbs and all of that. Bro, in reality, of course, at the time, the Hypebeast era was popular on fashion. There's always going to be something trendy online and fashion that the celebrities are wearing and stuff like that. But honestly, bro, fashion, and I know it sounds like I'm hating, bro, but I'm a fashion critic at this point in time. I'm a professional. Bro, what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is, bro, you don't have to wear all of these. You don't have to wear a certain brand. You don't have to wear a certain type of style of clothes just to consider yourself fly. If you like it, it resonates with who you are as a person, and it's something that you found and it's original to you, bro, wear it. You don't have to go in these stores and feel like you need to be wearing the ERD shirts and like all of these brands just to be considered fly. Nah, bro, I don't have to wear those brands and I feel like I'm fly. You know why, bro? Because I have my own originality and I don't copy other people and I don't copy what's trending, bro. And that's what I feel like makes a person fly. Not with the fit that you put on, but your mentality behind the fit. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much the video, man. I feel like this one not gonna be that long, but that's pretty much the video, man. Let me know down below what y'all think about the Hypebeast era. Let me know if you like the era, if you think it's cool, if you think it's not. Let me know down below. But I love y'all, man. I hope this video, somebody was able to laugh off this, learn something, or hate me off this video, man. But I love y'all, man. Keep running it up. If it is free to like this video, it helps me out a ton, though. It's free to like this video. I'm just a kid trying to chase his dream. And go watch the V-Lone video I made before this, too. That's a banger video, man. But I'm signing out, man. It's Lil Hands, the world's flyest YouTuber all the time. We posting weekly, daily content every single day, every single week. We not stopping no more. I love y'all, man. Lil Hands, I'm signing out. I'm going to see y'all in the next one. No bad.